Hey folks, how is everyone doing this morning? We're coming at you live from the beautiful Beauport Hotel in downtown Gloucester for another edition of Now We're Here. I'm your host, Corey Cougar, along with my co-host, Heather Atwood. How are you doing?
I'm good, Corey. And it's so nice of you to order this little snowfall
Did you like
for this
that?
holiday show. Yeah.
I worked hard to get that in there. It's absolutely gorgeous out here in Gloucester today. So if you're out and about, first of all, you can come down to the hotel if you want to participate and see the show live. We'll be here for another hour or so. We have a great group of guests as well.
We have your sweater.
Star of the show already.
Corey's sweater.
Yeah. There's always the debate whether it's an alpaca or a llama, but I go with alpaca.
Yeah.
Just because I'm tight with the people at Marshall's Farm Stand, and that's where the alpacas are.
I know.
This time of
I
year.
just like saying llama.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think it was like a fa la la llama. That might have been
even
like
better.
Yeah.
Even better, fa la la llama.
Yeah. So this is what's cool too is I noticed how beautiful it was. Like it's a snow globe outside right now too.
Yeah.
This reminded me of when I was in Reykjavik just a couple weeks ago.
I ran into you in Reykjavik.
Which is so crazy. We actually ran into each other at the airport on the way home from that trip, but it was set up just like this. It was a gorgeous like winter wonderland.
It was, yeah. And you went to a Christmas market in Reykjavik, and I was in Berlin visiting my daughter.
Yeah.
And I went to a Christmas market there. So we've had our share of holidays, and we keep sharing them.
And I actually
together.
do love this time of year too. Some holidays I'm not a giant fan of, but I like Christmas time or this season. You know?
Well, it's, you make things sparkly, you decorate. Even if you don't think you're in the mood, you still decorate a little bit. And
it's the season of giving.
Well, then there's
you
that.
And your sparkle.
Yeah. Well, it's just beautiful,
yeah,
and it's making winter beautiful. Winter isn't necessarily beautiful, but it's sort of taking everything and making it, it's about light, it's about giving. Mm-hmm. It's a great time of year.
Yeah, and we're going to learn about different local traditions.
Yes.
In this episode too. But first of all, we want to talk about what's happening here at the Beauport Hotel because we're super grateful that they're hosting this today too. So we want to introduce Jean Hennessy, the Director of Communications here. How are you, Jean?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks so much for being a part of
this.
Yeah, thanks you. So first off, the top is how beautifully decorated the hotel is. It's like it's a source of pride for the locals, which it's just sort of happened, evolved that way over the last few years. People love when the decorations go up right after Thanksgiving, right?
Love that.
And you just see people from all over the world taking their family photos here.
Oh my goodness, you wouldn't believe how many family portraits are taken here in our lobby.
Oh, that's really nice.
People plan their holiday portraits around dinner at 1606 and then in front of our trees. It's a beautiful tradition for so many families.
It's gorgeous. And if those who aren't familiar with the hotel, we're here in Commercial Street, 55 Commercial Street in downtown Gloucester. It is spectacular in here. We always say this because you're so welcoming to the locals as well as bringing in people from afar. But it feels like you're on a vacation at home when you're inside.
It very much is. Yeah, well, we feel very lucky to have a community like we do. Mm-hmm. And it's very important to Sherry Zizik, our owner, to reach out to the community and welcome the community here as we do with our open house, Deck the Halls. That's what it's all about. Bring the community in, enjoy the decorations, and give back.
And I think one of the other great things about the hotel too during the holiday season is this is where everyone comes to congregate when they're coming home from afar. So I was here over the weekend and you saw a lot of young people in from colleges and whatnot. This Friday is going to be a crazy day here because that's sort of when it's almost like Thanksgiving Eve, but everyone knows that Friday before Christmas, everyone's going to be at the hotel to meet.
Now, did you know that? Did you realize that this is like the local place for kids who are coming back from college?
I did not know that.
I didn't know it either.
No, that's wonderful. I think that's great to hear.
Well, there's such a great space here. Here, the lobby, it's packed. It's standing room only.
Yeah.
So.
And we have little pockets, beautiful pockets for different groups to congregate here in front of the other fireplace. And then, of course, in the dining room, we have pockets for people everywhere. It's great.
Yeah.
So now, Jean, let's talk about what the hotel has going on throughout the holiday season.
Oh my goodness, how much time do we have?
I know.
So much happening. Of course, we'll continue our music series. We have music here on Wednesdays and Thursdays throughout the year. But we also have a Christmas Eve dinner. We have Christmas Day dinner.
So people should make reservations for these
Absolutely.
things.
We have some reservations available still for both and for New Year's Eve as well. We have
a beautiful
special
place.
dinner. We don't have a party per se. We have a beautiful dinner in our dining room, and there are some reservations available for that. And we have an overnight package too, home for the holidays. So people who are coming back to enjoy their families here in Gloucester can come stay for the holidays. So tremendous
lovely.
packages.
Very nice.
And then we have the New Year's Eve on Beauport Cruise Lines.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Beauport Cruise Lines. I mean, how much fun is that to be out on the water for New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
That's a fabulous package, and it's just a cocktail party on board with entertainment. So that
And that's nice because there usually isn't a ton going on New Year's Eve around here locally.
Right.
You know, people either venture in the first night unless it's frozen out, so it's nice to have an option to do something like that.
and we're climate controlled, so if it happens to be snowing out, we have two beautiful decks. So it's a great place to be, and it's warm on board with all of the warm hospitality with everybody coming
And do you have
on board.
entertainment on the cruise?
We do. So there's dancing and heavy hors d'oeuvres and cocktail, and it cheers at midnight with one of our favorite sparkling wines, Champy sparkling wine with Jenny Johnson.
Yeah.
So
right.
that's our midnight toast.
And the Beauport Princess never leaves the harbor, so you don't have to worry about rocky waters at
Oh,
all.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's always smooth sailing
Yeah,
for
it
Beauport
really
Cruise
is.
Lines. Yes. So we have all that, but then after the first of the year, we don't slow down. We have our wedding showcase in January.
That's a big one.
Oh, right.
We do a fireside chat. I don't know if you're familiar with our fireside chat.
This is our first Fireside Chat.
So we take advantage of all the beautiful spaces here at the hotel, and we have folks come in and give a talk on something, an author perhaps, or a local historian. Come and give a talk, and then question and answers, and it's all good.
And these are sponsored by the hotel.
That's right.
So
it's free to the public.
Yeah.
Just come in and enjoy, grab yourself a glass of wine and come and listen to what a local expert has to say on a different topic.
And where can someone find the schedule for those talks?
It will be on
'Cause
our
I
website.
want to come.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And sign up for our newsletters, because we have all of that coming out in our newsletters.
Oh, good. Good. That's a great community piece to have these fireside chats all through the
People
winter.
love
Get
it.
people out. Yeah.
Yes, it's great. It's brings the community out, and look at all the experts we have here on Cape Ann.
Right.
On so many topics. So it's amazing. The beautiful thing about it is the variation of themes. So we'll have an author. We had folks talk about the blue economy. We have a shipwreck expert coming out. So it's a diverse group. So we bring in different people each time. It's great.
Very cool. And something that's a little more time sensitive that's going on at the hotel right now is the Pack the Bus
Pack
toy
the
drive.
bus for Pathways.
Yeah.
So again, this time of the year, Sherry is very community driven, and so at the holidays we like to give back to Pathways, and we have
We
our
love
bus.
Pathways.
Well, they do wonderful work.
They
so we have our bus out front packed with toys. So if anybody would like to, we still have time, come with a new toy, not wrapped, put it in our bus. We'll get it over to Pathways for folks to shop at Christmas time. And we also like, at this time of the year, most importantly, Action Inc. and Open Door. We have a close relationship with all three of those groups because they all work hand in hand as well. So we're happy to give back.
Yeah,
That's
we
great.
just did a show at the Open Door for Thanksgiving. It's amazing the work that they're doing over
my
there.
goodness, yes.
And we also want to mention too, with Action Inc., the fuel assistance program is ongoing now. You wouldn't believe how many, like thousands of families in Cape Ann actually benefit from that program too. So you can contact them as well to learn more about that. So very cool stuff. And you can't miss this Pack the Bus out front. It's a beautiful
No, you
blue
can't miss it.
Volkswagen beach bus.
Do you
sitting
actually
right
drive
out
it
there.
over to Pathways?
No.
Oh,
we don't.
too bad.
I know
wanna
that
see
You're
would
what
be
offering a
fun,
push?
right?
Yeah,
You can
I
do that.
want to ride. Yeah.
We can do the reindeer thing.
But we
Yeah.
do deliver the toys.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Anything else you want to touch upon? I know you wanted to mention how grateful you are for the staff here at the Beauport.
Thank you. Yes, I had mentioned that to you earlier. All year long, but particularly this time of the year, we understand how lucky we are to have the team that we have. People really give 110%, and this is a beautiful space, but it's our team members who welcome our guests that make the difference here at Beauport. I think more times I've received letters telling me how wonderful their experience was here because of their welcome at the front door, their welcome up here at the
I love those
desk.
guys at the front door.
Yeah.
Every time I come to this
are
hotel, I
great,
think
yeah.
they're
They
just
are
such a warm, generous spirit opening that door.
That's
Yeah.
right, and everybody just is delighted that you're here.
Yeah.
Genuinely. So
It's
thank you.
really nice.
Oh, well, thanks for having us. And we were talking about now we're here as the show is being developed this year. We just kept saying we have to get into the Beauport Hotel. It's literally one of the crown jewels of Cape Ann.
Thank you.
And the space is just wonderful, and we're so grateful that you had us today. And we might bring you back on, Gene.
Oh,
later on
okay.
today
Well,
yeah.
to
Just
learn
Let me
more
know.
about
Just
that.
don't have me sing because she's
I
lovely.
know, Alexander Grace
Do
is
not
performing
want
too.
that.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. So if people want to learn more about the hotel or find you, how can they do that?
BeauportHospitalityGroup.com. That's our website, and all of our entities are there. Seaport Grill, Cruiseport, Beauport Cruise Lines, and we have a restaurant in Boston, Rail Stop.
Yes.
We're all
Oh.
under that umbrella, BeauportHospitalityGroup.com.
Okay, great. But,
Well
but for
said.
reservations, to find out about the Fireside Chats, all that's there also,
All
right?
of that is there under each of our entities, yes.
Well, thank you for everything you're doing here, and thank you particularly for making such a beautiful place in Gloucester at this time of year.
It's our
It's really
pleasure.
special.
Yeah, thank you. Gene Hennessy, the Director of Communications for the Beauport Hotel. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We'll see you in a little bit. So that was nice, Heather, huh?
That was really
You didn't realize how
nice.
much was actually going on here.
I did not know
Yeah.
that. I did not know they have a restaurant in Boston.
Yes.
So-
you can get on their mailing list pretty easily. It's
Okay.
pretty fabulous.
I need to
menu,
do that
actually.
and find out more.
Yeah, I'll forward you the one that I just got.
So I think next we have our Pathways expert,
Yeah,
right?
fittingly now. So we
Yeah.
just talked about the Pack the Bus toy drive going on, and we have another return guest. So now we're
Yeah.
here. It's Elise
so
Nagra from
honored.
Pathways for Children.
Yeah.
How are you, Elise?
I'm good. How are
Two
you
shows in a
both?
row.
I know, 2 shows in a row. That was so fun last week, and this is just incredible to be here at the beautiful Beauport today. I have to ask, how's it going with your kitten adoption?
Bean is great, yes.
What's the name?
Bean. We stuck with Bean.
Good.
So for those of you who have not watched the show, we were all on Cape Ann Animal Aid last week, and Elise was a guest, and we were holding puppies, and then we were holding kittens, and this little kitten was in my arms, and she is now at home. She's been home with us for a week, and she's curled up next to my dog and my cat. I mean, the three of them, we call them the team, because they are all such buddies right now, and the
Wow.
dog adores her. In fact, the dog adores her so much, she lets the kitten eat out of her bowl, and that has been unthinkable for
You actually have
Martha.
to watch that footage because the moment that Animal Aid hands Heather Bean, this little black kitten, she tears up and was like, oh, we're like, we don't know if we're going to get through the show. And then she literally signed adoption papers during the show.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I
Took
did.
Bean home with
Yeah.
her, so that was
But
awesome.
She was meant to be with us.
Yeah.
She's great.
I think that that's a great metaphor for everything that goes on during the holiday season. Just, it's the time of giving love, receiving love, accepting new folks or new animals into your
Yeah,
into
opening
your home,
yourself
but
up.
kind of opening up that family for the year. And that's what we see with Pack the Bus for Pathways. We see the community just opening up, giving and just giving and giving and giving. And of course, we appreciate Beauport so much for organizing it. I do want to mention that we already had, they filled the bus.
I saw
And
this.
they came and dropped off. So if I could encourage everybody, if you want to feel good, go to our Facebook page and see some of the pictures of that beautiful. We're filling the aquamarine colored bus, but then it's the butter, or I should say in my Gloucester accent, the butter bus. That just sounds fun to say. The butter bus.
butter
The
bus.
butter bus pulled up, and as incredibly visually engaging and wonderful as that is, and it's really wonderful to see that vintage bus pull up packed to the gills with toys. That's wonderful. But I think the thing that really struck me and filled my heart that day was the staff. The Beauport staff was all so clearly excited to be there and to be part of that and to be, loading those toys in, and just, they were eager to see how many toys they had dropped off that day. It was 190.
Oh my God.
That's
Yeah,
impressive.
and yeah, we talked a little bit more about keeping it going, and they immediately the whole of Beauport is just so great, and Ray said, absolutely, let's keep packing that bus. So the holiday stores are still ongoing, and those toys that we're gonna get in that bus are still gonna get distributed to families, and it's gonna take a huge weight off of them for the holidays.
That's great. And then do you want to talk about how the toys are distributed, or these other certain programs at Pathways, and how this helps benefit everybody?
Yeah, well, it does help benefit everybody. I think that to address like how they're distributed, that's a wonderful thing in and of itself. Is that the parents get to come in. We set up a holiday store, and again, check us out on Facebook, because as soon as the holiday store is set up, that's just really fun stuff to photograph too. One of the great parts of our building that we have down on Emerson Avenue is we have this great multi-purpose room that's got like climbing walls on, all around it, and it's just a big room for the kids to use as a, indoor space.
Lots of mats. I've been
Yes,
there. Lots
awesome.
of tumbling
Lots
mats.
of tumbling
yeah.
mats and stuff to get that energy out and stuff like that. So we convert that multi-purpose room into a holiday store, and we have it all divided up, kind of categorized in a way that will aid the parents in their shopping. And we call it shopping, but it is of course free of charge. So our families come in and they generally go around to the store with a social worker who has come to know that family. Sometimes their child's teacher even will accompany them, or sometimes they just go it on their own if that's their preference. But they go around and they get to shop for their children because they know their children best. So we want to do what we can to kind of facilitate the process, but we do know that they are their child's first and best teachers, and we know that they know their children best. So we make sure that we get all the toys that are the hot toys that the kids really want. We have Amazon wish lists that folks can access by going to our website, which is www.pw4c.org. And you can go there and see those Amazon wish lists. And we make it so easy that if you want to give, you can click and you can have a toy shipped right to Pathways. You can stay in your
that's
pajamas or your really festive sweater, and you can do it right from your home. But what's even more fun is to come down to the Beauport. Come and see these beautiful decorations. Put a toy in that spectacular bus, and that I think kind of gives you that nice community spirit when you're here and you see how many toys are in there from other folks in the community doing that.
Well said, Elise.
That's a great
fantastic.
thing to do at Christmas.
Yes.
That really is. That's a
Yes.
wonderful Gloucester move. Come to the
Yes.
Beauport, enjoy the decorations, and put a toy in the bus for Pathways.
Exactly, and we do hope, as is the case with all giving, I think, we hope that opens up a new relationship for folks, that they're going to give that toy and that they're going to feel so good and learn a little bit more about Pathways that maybe they'll sign up to be on our email distribution list, and we can, include them in our e-newsletter blasts, and they can hear about other giving opportunities, because the need is there all year long for the families that we serve. A lot of them are working 2 and 3 jobs and just trying their best, just like everybody is. So the need continues, and in the winter we try to make sure that we distribute, any needs that come up. If there's coats or warm boots, we try to have all that stuff stocked so that we can distribute it on a one-on-one kind of level to the families that need it. And of course, then there's always monetary contributions, which are incredibly appreciated. They give us a lot of latitude. The school age care program that we discussed last
Which I
week,
love,
we talked
yes.
about that video. That'll be going up on YouTube soon, and we'll be getting the link out both via email and on social media to that video. We're going to make sure we show it to the kids first. We're going to premiere it to the kids with popcorn and a red carpet and everything.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it's going to be
great.
really fun. But then it'll be up on YouTube, and folks can go and they can check out that school age care program video, and they can check out a couple other videos that we did with the help of 1623 that can tell you a lot more about Pathways and do it in a way that's really going to make you smile, and maybe make you consider making one of those monetary, a monetary contribution, because the funds that do come in help a lot with our enrichment programs. There's a lot of data that shows that the kids that we serve tend to have like a learning gap between, there's a deficit between their experience, specifically because of enrichment activities, and the experience of some of their more affluent peers. So we do what we can to kind of provide those enrichment opportunities to get the kids kind of back at level with their peers.
Very nice, Elise.
When I'll just jump in
Sure.
and say, we talked about this last week, but I really had the opportunity to experience firsthand that school age care program.
Yeah.
And I got to meet some of those kids. They were just so wonderful and just full of joy and articulate and just fun kids to be around. But it was also really interesting to see how enthused they were about these enrichment programs,
Right.
about these field trips. They loved going on those field trips.
Right.
And it was so interesting that you took them to Endicott College.
Yes.
Because it's so much of our lives or our futures we create by seeing these things.
Exactly.
So if you've never seen college, you can't imagine going there.
Exactly.
And a lot of them really remembered it, and that had an impact on them.
Yeah,
So
it is very impactful, and we try to make sure that we provide a really wide range and full breadth of experiences for the kids, including what we call in-class field trips, where we have folks like the Museum of Science come in and they do presentations for the kids, and then we get them out into the community. They always love their trip out on the adventure and hoisting those sails, and it helps to connect them with their local roots here. and so many other things, music lessons, art lessons. How can kids really know what they're good at unless they're exposed to these things? So,
Exactly, yeah.
what a shame it would be to have one of the kids in our programs be the next, Lady Gaga or the next, Simone Biles.
Alexandra
or-
Grace.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
This-
I love Alexandra Grace.
So we try to get them, really exposed to a lot of things so we can see that if something really jumps out and sparks passion, that they have the chance to, number one, just realize that thing sparks passion in them. And then we try to work with them to show them ways that they can pursue that passion.
So there you go. So if you want to help Pathways for Children right now, you can donate an unwrapped toy to the Pack the Bus.
Yes.
The beautiful blue beach bus right out front, or the Butter Bus,
Yes.
which will be happening. Or if you want to learn more about Pathways for Children, pw4c.org.
Exactly, and
Right.
it feels really good. The takeaway is you bring that toy down, put it in that bus, and you're going to feel really, really good.
Elise, happy holidays.
Happy holidays
Thanks
to
for
both
joining
of
us
you.
today.
Thanks for having me back. What a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Hope we get to see you again soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are you doing
Yes,
next
let's
week?
plan
Yeah,
on it.
next week.
We'll talk. We'll see what the subject matter is, and if I
Okay.
can kind of fit my way in there, then I'd be glad to.
We'd
But,
love
yeah.
to have you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Elise and I are from Pathways for Children. Once again, another repeat guest here. Right now we're here.
Yeah, it feels cozy that we've been at Cape Ann Animal Aid together, and we were talking about Pathways again.
The open door.
The open
We're
door.
making our way around all of Cape Ann too.
Yeah.
So we have a very special guest now.
I think we do, yes.
From the Beauport Ho Ho Hotel, as we're doing this, because now we're going to be talking eggnog with our eggnog expert.
How
You
are
might know
ya?
Bob Ryan from Ryan and Wood Distilleries right
Hi,
here
Bob.
in Gloucester. He bears gifts.
We'll talk about
Hey, grab a
that.
seat, Bob.
Yeah, sit down.
How you doing?
Good, good. You
Happy
know,
holidays.
you know there's treats and things right there. And
Yeah.
You called me over.
We know. I set you up right by the food cart just
Yeah,
in case.
yeah.
Get you settled in.
We're transitioning from giving to celebrating, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe giving.
Tis
You
the
could give,
season.
yeah.
I tell you, if I can fit it in, Cape Ann, Gloucester, Rockport, Essex, Maine.
You might want this, Bob.
Giving-
Just to hold while you can.
Giving is like the middle name here.
Oh, it is.
Right from Boxing Day and helping, the situation that happened in Nova Scotia with the fire in there 100 years ago. I don't know when it was, but we remember the bad things. But
Wait a minute,
remember
do we
the
want a
good things.
story? What happened in Nova
Boy,
Scotia
it's
100
Bob
years
Ryan's
ago?
story time.
Yeah,
Now, to begin
okay.
here.
All right.
There was a catastrophic fire or something along the lines, and the Gloucester community, Lunenburg, and those communities up there were fishing villages
So we have
also.
a close relationship.
And there were a lot of relatives, excuse me for saying this, before the Sicilians, before the Portuguese. It was New England Yankees, and they came down from Scotland and from England through the British Maritimes up there. And so there was a lot. I mean, Blackburn had relatives. He probably came from Nova Scotia
Right.
or Newfoundland. So there was a
Yeah.
lot of ties at the time.
Yeah.
And everything kind of one hand helps the other when you need it.
Now, we haven't introduced you. You are Bob Ryan of Ryan and Wood Distillers,
Thank you.
right?
Yes.
But you also have a family history of being in the fishing industry, fish processing in Gloucester, is that right?
Yes. As does Corey.
Oh.
My family had the wharf right down the end of this street.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did know that. Yeah, you told me about coming home, your dad coming home with a bag of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bag of
yeah.
haddock every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
right.
still eat it, amazingly, but I was tired of it when I was a kid.
A unique thing for me to say. Corey's dad was all right. I enjoyed him. He was a good man.
Yeah.
He is a good man.
He is a
Yeah,
good
I met
was.
him recently. He seems
Yeah.
like a really good
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're nothing alike. He's
Yeah.
pretty quiet.
Yeah.
But it is pretty interesting that we're sitting in this hotel and your community, the Italian fishing community, is right behind us, right? Of the
Which
fort.
used to be Irish. That was an immigrant wave opportunity for homeship.
Right.
Yeah,
At this
right.
point, nobody wanted to live on the water. That's where the storms came. So nobody had anything more than a fireplace for heat and things like that. When Central Heat came, that's when all these Eastern Point and Marblehead and all that became valuable property.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
That's my look at it, anyway.
Yeah.
So, Bob, we bumped into you over the weekend, Heather and I, because you were actually slinging eggnog drinks down at the Rockport Makers Festival.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, how did you survive the great tent collapse of 2019? What happened with that wind?
The people from the rental center
Yeah.
came and re-anchored everything.
Save the day.
Oh,
The
that's good.
brilliant thought was there was only one doorway, one entrance to the tent. We just opened up a flap on the other side so the wind
Oh,
could
vent.
blow through and not be captured in there and cycle.
I think I was sitting next to that vent. Actually, I was pretty cold when I was in that tent, but I had some great food and a great drink.
That's why I was there. You were cold. I had eggnog and cider.
Right, right, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you don't know this, Bob, so Heather actually spent yesterday making her own eggnog.
Wow.
Did.
Yeah.
With Ryan and Wood, Folly Cove rum.
You did.
I
real.
did, yes,
And
yes.
it's sitting right over there.
So I can serve us some.
I'd like that.
I'd like to
All
see
right,
Heather go to
all right,
work. That'd be great.
I'd like that.
And
So
then Bob, so while she's doing
Yeah,
that, I want to talk to you about this one story that we've been bandying about the last couple of days, and it is the pilot delivering gifts to the lighthouse families in that tradition.
The Flying Santa.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a
Flying
bit.
Santa.
Yeah.
Another aspect of holiday giving.
Yeah.
And people choose their ways, what they have and what they're able to do. So Edward Rowe Snow. And jump in at any time if you want to correct me, because I know.
No, so far we're good.
By the way, folks, I can only tell Corey a story once. He has a brilliant memory. And he's not afraid to tell me, yeah, let's move on.
It's good, Bob. That's because you've told me the story 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, but I've never heard the story. I've never heard the story.
Yeah.
Now
So
you
tell
know what
me.
my son lives with.
Yeah.
Does. No, Edward Rowe Snow, when he came out of World War II, and he came out early out of the European theater, he got injured, and he came back. And Edward Rowe Snow was known as a historian. He was born on the South Shore, maybe Quincy, something like that. And he was very big on shipwrecks of the coastal New England. He wrote about 40 books on this, and he contributed to the Herald and the Globe. And actually, at the time, it was the Boston Record, Herald, American Traveler, a
Right.
combination of papers. He pretty much was the guy to go to. The next step that happened, Logan Airport wants to extend their runways. The planes are getting bigger, jets, they need longer runways. He saved 2 or 3 of the islands in Boston Harbor from being supports for the extended runways. And now they're National Historic Landmarks. And the same thing happened with 5 Pound Island in Gloucester Harbor. The State Fish Pier is the end of that. This is one
right.
of those, Bob, move on.
Here we go. Here we go.
So 5 Pound Island, 10 Pound Island. But the big thing that I remember him for were his 15-minute radio presentations that I would be connected with, and he spoke about these shipwrecks. But Christmas time, he would get in a helicopter or he would get in an airplane, and he would drop packages to the lighthouse keeping families. And it wasn't that long ago that all these lighthouse, including Thatcher's, had to have a family there or a lighthouse tender. And he was anchored there for months at a time. So Christmas time, he would fly over, and you can check it out online and things, and he would drop these satchels with reading material, with crayons, with paper, to keep gifts. You know, it's before radio. I mean, you may not remember a time before FM radio. And yeah.
Before BCN.
That's an
no way.
amazing story.
BCN,
BCN,
yeah.
remember BCN?
Yeah.
That is a great story.
One time he visited 173 lighthouses, flying over. Well, he had a pilot, but he would huck these packages over, and boom, and they'd wave to him and he'd move on. That tradition does continue. The U.S. Coast Guard took over the lighthouse service, and of course everything's electronic. But every year they'll come down, they'll visit Station Gloucester here. Santa will hop out of a van
Right.
instead of a.
So the Coast
airplane.
Guard sends people out to deliver presents to the keepers, is that right?
There is an association. It's out of the South Shore
Okay.
that manages this.
Yeah.
The Coast Guard allows it to happen.
Oh, okay.
That's my feet on the ground look at it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Heather, you set us up with some eggnog.
Okay, yes. So let me know what you guys think. This is homemade.
Cheers, Bob. Happy
Cheers.
holidays.
This is terrific.
It's a little drippy on the side. Sorry about that.
So am I.
He's
All
not
right.
wrong.
So let me know what you think. It's not Hood, Corey. Corey and I both agree that Hood eggnog is pretty
That's
good.
nice.
Yeah, you like
That's
it?
really smooth, yeah. I have a little more of that.
It's got a nice froth on the top. The nutmeg.
Oh, that's really
You
good,
like the
Heather.
nutmeg?
The
Oh,
not,
good.
the nutmeg can easily be overpowering.
Yeah, yeah.
This is You must have sampled this last night 6
I
or
did.
7 times.
I did.
She told us it was for salmonella testing.
Yeah, I actually really felt obliged to taste it last night because I wanted to,
beautiful.
there are raw eggs in here. Maybe I should have warned you beforehand. So that is kind of
Cluck, cluck.
I'm good.
But I learned an interesting fact when I was making this because I was worried about. I have made eggnog before, but for my family, so I don't really think too much about it. But I was like, okay, wait a minute, I'm going to be serving it to the public, maybe, or our crew. And so I Googled salmonella in eggnog and the risks. And eggnog has been made since the 14th century, by the way, since medieval times. And how they amend the salmonella issue has sort of evolved, and it's simply the alcohol. So the Rockefeller Center for Bacterial something, they did a study, and they beat a whole bunch of eggs, they added salmonella to it, and they added alcohol. And they tested the alcohol, or the salmonella, tested it for salmonella the next day, and there was still salmonella present. They tested it 3 days later, there was a little salmonella. They tested it a week later, the salmonella was gone.
Yeah.
And it was the alcohol. So when I made this recipe, I beat the eggs with sugar, I added the alcohol, and I let it sit for about 24 hours. And then I made the eggnog.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the rum tastes beautiful too, Bob.
I gotta tell you, cookies in the cookie jar.
Yeah.
I couldn't let that set 24 hours.
Well, that's true too.
Well, no, you didn't make the whole thing. You
Yeah.
don't add the milk and the cream until afterwards. You
Okay,
just let the
okay.
eggs and the alcohol basically mix. So the alcohol is killing anything
Yeah.
that may be in there, any bacteria.
Wait, you did a fine job.
Well, thank you very
Did
much.
a
Now
fine
this
job.
was with the Folly Cove rum, but we've also, Bob, you will do this with your wheat whiskey and your gin as well?
It is so refreshing to introduce these cocktails at the Rockport Makers event, which was a great event in the point of we're showing people that this is not a 10-week visit location. This is not Cape Cod where it shuts down. We do 24 hours, 52 weeks, whatever that phrase is the firemen use. And we have this hotel. I mean, it's open year round. We're almost hot next to this romantic fire here. But the point is, introducing things to people, finding out what they like, and then integrating it. Somebody came to the table and said, I like gin. Well, what you can do is add our barrel-aged gin to the cocktail. Anything barrel-aged is more wintry, and certainly with this, because the barrel was the container. That was it. So our cask-aged gin went in here and went in with the cider if they enjoyed gin. I said, if you don't like it, I'll take it back, type of thing.
Right.
What a response when you see somebody smiling saying, I like that. I never thought of putting gin in with cider or in with eggnog.
So you were there at that table under that tent in Harvey Park in Rockport.
Yes.
And you had your spirits lined up, and people were coming up and to you and just saying, I like gin, and you were sort of mixing on the spot.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I took a lot of choice out, and we just had the cider and the eggnog.
Yeah.
And the cider, we, got it from the retailer, but we put in oranges and lemons and cinnamon sticks. Not too complicated. I'm not big on complicated drinks. You can go so far with ingredients that why put the alcohol in there? Just enjoy what you're creating.
Right,
type of thing.
exactly.
We also had another menu of products there, the Hannah Jumper.
All right.
So,
Tell us about the Hannah Jumper.
Well, the Hannah Jumper,
Alcohol-free.
before the Civil War, Hannah Jumper kind of traveled around with 20 ladies and destroyed every bottle of liquor they could find
Sounds like a
Rockport.
lot of fun.
in Rockport. In Rockport.
Yeah, I heard they were breaking up the casks and the rum was running down the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so were the men.
And this was because they were upset that their husbands and sons drank too much, right?
Fishermen, working all day in the quarries, whatever, you come home and you may not spend enough time with your family
Yeah.
or your paycheck.
Right.
The whole thing, nothing is free, no free lunch and all that. The bars and things would give you lunch, but they'd have you in there with as much salt as possible to get you to drink.
Well, Bob,
cocktail.
while we have you, though, we also want to mention that great holiday gift. You could do a lot worse than Rhino Woods liquors.
Exactly, yeah.
The Beauport vodka, the Folly Cove rum, the Knockabout gin. Help me out, Bob.
The three whiskeys.
The rye whiskey I have at home all the time.
The rye whiskey, and that's been here many times.
Yeah.
The wheat whiskey. People aren't familiar with wheat whiskey, but a lot of the newer boutique bourbons have wheat in them. to soften them and smooth them as they age in the barrel. That means you're no longer taking a sip, stamping your foot, getting your breath back, and asking for a beer chaser. There's a lot of good product out there from me and from many other craft distillers also.
So you're a family business.
Kathy and I right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But you started with your son and your nephew, who I think sadly passed, right?
Dave, nephew, and I have a lot of nieces and nephews. Kathy's one of 14, so we could pick and choose. But Dave was 15 years older than me. I'm sorry, younger than me.
Yeah.
And 15 years older than my kids, who were in college at the time we opened. And I did not want to have something catastrophic happen to me and Kathy, and have it land in their laps like the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Type thing. So Dave was my order of succession.
Nice.
Unfortunately, the Lord must have made a decision one day overnight. He just passed. No dependencies, no anything like that. Just the thing that you read about on page 2.
Right, that was sad.
Wonderful kid.
Yeah.
Wonderful kid. Very, very much missed.
But it's so great to have a family business, yet another one on Cape Ann, and doing such interesting work.
Yeah.
And again, a great gift.
Great gift. Come up and
look
visit
for
us.
that in the shops this holiday season.
Yeah, Kathy can custom make a basket for you, and the more bottles you buy, the more custom made it is.
Yeah.
Do you have a gift shop at the distillery?
We do.
Yeah, okay.
We do. Kathy gives 1-hour tours. The end of the tour is a little tasting, and we enjoy telling our story, but it's all education too.
Yeah, right.
My tours might be an hour and a half to 2 hours.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. Kathy knows you have a life.
Well, thank you so much, Bob. It's
Thanks, Bob. We really appreciate it.
Terrific pleasure.
and
hope
I
didn't-
enjoyed having your rum in my eggnog.
I did also. I did also.
It was nice.
Very good.
Yeah, Bob Ryan, Rhinowood Distilleries. You can find them online, of course, or at Great Republic Drive in Gloucester.
Yes.
Thanks once again. Happy holidays to you and your family, Bob.
Thank you very much,
Appreciate
and
it.
also to you and
Thank
the
you.
cable TV and everything that you do. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Cheers to that.
Take your eggnog with you.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Bob. We'll catch up with you in a bit. You can find Rhinowood's liquors all over Cape Ann and beyond, the North Shore, the Boston area.
Yeah, a real Gloucester product.
Very cool.
Yeah, right?
Amy will be joining us next, just so you know.
Amy from the temple?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, great, great.
Are you about to, can you mention it? Can you pronounce it? The Temple of Ahim?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you say it so well.
Right here in Gloucester.
How about Ahim?
Ahim.
Ahim.
Yes.
Hi, Amy.
I was wondering if you could pronounce it.
I try, Amy. I try.
It's funny that CH is not so easy for people to pronounce.
That's a tough one.
Totally.
Honestly, the eggnog helped.
Yeah. There you go. Do you want some eggnog, Amy?
No, thank
Okay.
you. No, thank you.
This is Amy Farber, the Vice President of Temple Ahavat Ahim
Yes.
in Gloucester. And thank you so much for coming.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's part of the whole holiday season, right?
Yeah.
And I would like you to tell us, the temple is such an important part of this community. It's such a vital force. Can you talk to us about the history of the temple here?
Sure. There's been. Make sure I'm close enough.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
just, you can even hold this just to be extra safe.
Or you can come close.
Yeah.
There's been a congregation, Jewish congregation here for well over 100 years. And it was housed in different places, over all those years. We were in the church on Middle Street that we renovated to become a synagogue for quite a while. Many years. I actually don't remember what it is, 50 maybe. And in 2007, exactly 12 years ago this past Saturday, and it was a Saturday, which is our Sabbath, Shabbat, we lost the building to a fire. Gratefully, we had no injuries. There was one death from the building next to us, which was really sad, and it was hard for everybody. So when we regrouped after the fire and we got together to talk and decide what direction we wanted to go, one of the things we talked about was where we should rebuild. And the possibility of having parking was very alluring, but we would definitely have had to go somewhere else. We have a tiny,
You'd have to leave the downtown.
Definitely,
Right,
we have a tiny parking lot. But it was a unanimous vote that we wanted to stay downtown on Middle Street with the other churches, with the community, City Hall, the downtown area. It was very important to all of us. We feel like we are an integral part of this community, and
No
it's,
doubt.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So we rebuilt right there. Very different building,
It's a
very
beautiful
different.
building.
It's gorgeous.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I would love to do, and now we're here from
Oh,
the temple.
That
in
would
the
be
future.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be happy to have you.
that'd be phenomenal.
That would be
Yeah.
amazing. Is Irma Cohen still involved?
Yes, I was going to say, I know you've interviewed her
Yes, yes, I
more
love
than
her.
once.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to have Irma on the show.
That's a
Absolutely.
great
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So this is the season of Hanukkah. Do you want to talk to us about that tradition?
Sure. Yeah. So Hanukkah is it's the festival of lights. In the Jewish tradition, it's actually a very minor holiday. And it commemorates from ancient times when the temple building in Jerusalem had been destroyed and was rededicated by the Jewish people. They found just enough oil to last one night. And the miracle was that it lasted for 8 nights. And so that's what we celebrate. And it's, this is our menorah, which is also called a Chanukiah. And it has 8 candles, 8 holders for candles. It also has a 9th holder. And that is called the shamus. See if we can get these to stand up. And the shamus is the worker candle, the helper candle. I think shamus actually means head. And that lights the other candles. Because you can't use a candle for a ritual cannot be used to work. So you have to have this
The worker
extra
candle.
candle, the worker candle. And so each night of the holiday, we celebrate for 8 nights, we add a candle to the menorah. I can never quite remember
That's
if we
always-
start this side or that side. But
For TV purposes.
the
but yeah.
second night, we would have 2 candles, third, fourth. So the thing that I do remember is that you always light the newest candle first. And we have blessings that go with it. And it's traditional to put it in a window or a doorway to share the light.
Oh, nice.
And of course it happens like Christmas during the darkest time of the year. And so it's a way of bringing light to everybody.
And I think, do you traditionally do the ceremony at sunset, at dusk?
Traditionally, but it's not, the Shabbat candles are, it's more important to sort of do it right before sundown.
Okay.
But the Hanukkah candles is more leeway.
Okay.
So kind of do it when everybody can get together. Yeah.
And sometimes children receive a gift, a small gift
Yes,
for
so
each day?
originally we have a traditional toy called a dreidel, which has 4 Hebrew letters on it, and they represent the sentence, "A great miracle happened there." And so originally we would play dreidel, and depending on which letter it landed on, and I would do it, but it's going to fall off the
Yeah,
table.
right.
Depending on which letter it landed on, you would win a certain number of coins, or as we call them in Hebrew, gelt. And that was really what Hanukkah was. The gift giving was definitely a take from Christmas,
Right.
because it's all the same season. So, of course, the children love that, 8 gifts, or, one big one, I guess, as they get older. But we still play dreidel. We do still play dreidel, and now it's for chocolate gelt.
Right. I love that chocolate guilt. Yeah. So there is another, specifically Gloucester takeaway from
Yes.
sort of marriage of traditions,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And for those of you watching this program later on in our edited version, we're going to have a video that talks about this. It was produced by 1623 Studios.
You're supposed to put your Chanukiah at the window, and then there became this idea of building these big outdoor Chanukiot, and one of our congregants, Michael Gerber, came up with the idea, inspired by the Christmas tree made from lobster pots, that we would make a Chanukiah from lobster pots, which we did last year. And the publicizing of the mitzvah has gone beyond what any of us could have expected. We went, we're trending.
Please join me for the singing of the blessings, and then Ma'od Tzor, the first paragraph of Ma'od Tzor in Hebrew and English, which is on your sheet. And if you're not familiar with any of it, there's a great Jewish tradition of just faking it, which I hope you can participate in regardless of your religious background. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kirshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehaneger
Amy, could you tell us about this tradition
Yes.
that intersected in Gloucester?
That's so cool.
It's so cool. We have a lobster trap menorah. It was suggested by one of our members. Definitely because we are in a fishing town and because of the magnificent lobster trap Christmas tree on Main Street outside the police station. And so it's been, I don't know, 5-6 years that we've been doing this. And it's kind of comical, it's ironic because lobster is not kosher if you follow the rules of kashrut.
Yeah.
And so there was a little concern at the beginning, was anybody going to be insulted by this or bothered by it? We had very little,
Resistance or anything, yeah.
very little. And it's just been a wonderful way to connect with the community and, be a part of this wonderful fishing community, So it's been really fun. And so during the holiday, one of the nights, we invite the public to come, the local public, and we light the candles depending on what night it is. That tells us how many to light, and do some singing. And so this timing is perfect because this coming Sunday, the 22nd, is the first night of Hanukkah. And we will be lighting one candle,
That's
but
right.
we'll still have a lot of fun and serve latkes, which are potato pancakes. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The two foods that are traditional are potato pancakes, which are called latkes, or latkes, as some people say,
Yeah.
and sufganiyot, which is very hard to say, and they're jelly donuts.
They're so
Why are
delicious,
those
yeah.
two traditional? Because they're cooked in the oil.
Oil.
And oil is the whole start of the holiday.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Amy Farber, thank
It's
you
fun.
so much
Oh,
for
you're
joining us
welcome.
today. And we would love to be at the temple at some
Okay,
point soon.
we'll talk about
And
it.
if people want to learn more about the temple, how can they do that?
Oh, they can Google us. We have a website. It's taagloucester.org.
Yes.
They can come and visit. Our office hours during the week are 9 to 2. There's always somebody there who could show people around. And come Sunday night, because that will be an
Yes.
Yeah,
opportunity
that would be
to.
really
sounds
fun.
fun.
So
Get
Middle
in.
Street, the temple is on Middle Street.
We're on
and that's
86 Middle Street.
We're neighbors now. 1623
Yeah.
Studios on temple. Yeah.
We're
New to the
we're-
neighborhood.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And what time is it for lighting?
5:30.
Okay, great.
5:30 Sunday, and yeah, it'll be fun. We'll
Yeah.
light the candle, do the blessing, sing some songs. The first night there's actually a third blessing. We usually do 2. Third night is a third blessing that actually thanks God for bringing us to this moment. So we only say that the first night. So
Nice.
that's
Very
what we'll do.
nice. Thank
Yeah,
you so
that's
much,
beautiful.
You're
Amy.
so welcome. Pleasure.
you.
All right, we'll see you soon. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Happy
Same to
Hanukkah.
you.
And
Thank
we'll see you in the neighborhood.
Okay,
Amy
great.
Farber from the temple. How about Ahim?
Thanks.
You say
I
that
nailed
so
it again.
nicely. Yeah, got it. Yeah. Have more eggnog.
Oh, I can do this for you.
Say it really well.
Oh. All right, let's move this in here.
Yeah. Take care.
Thank you, Amy. Yeah, and you can see that produced piece that we did a while ago from 1623 Studios on the menorah lighting. The
It's a
menorah,
nice piece. Really
lobster
nice
trap
piece.
lighting.
Yeah. You see the rabbi there. There's
Yeah, Rabbi
children are
Lewis,
singing
yeah.
some songs. Yeah. It's really
Very
nice.
cool. We have another special guest.
We
We've
do.
been waiting for
Speaking of
this.
songs.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
It's Alexandra
Alexandra.
Grace.
How are you?
How are you? Gloucester's own Alexandra Grace. Are you okay in this chair?
I am great in this.
You are. So you're going to be performing a couple songs for us today.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start with one now and then come back a little while.
Yeah. Well, let's learn a little bit about you and your background and how this whole musical career came to be. So,
Yeah.
grew up, born and raised in Gloucester?
Born and raised in Gloucester. My dad played the drums for fun, and my mom sang and acted. So I kind of grew up in a musical household.
Yeah.
Rock and roll music all the time, theater music, jazz. I tap danced, which was a huge. I didn't know it, but that was actually a huge influence on my music.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's kind of.
Why do you think?
Why? Because the repertoire for tap dancing is similar to the music that I sing now, so it's standard jazz music.
And did you
cool.
study music at school when you went?
I did. So I studied I sang for the Docksiders in high school, the jazz band.
Yeah.
Now I go to Berklee College of Music, so I study songwriting and psychology.
That's a perfect combination, I think.
It's amazing.
Yeah, right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
When I used to do stand-up in Boston for years. I used to stay at the dorms at Berkeley on Com Ave
No
after the
way.
shows. Yeah, because
That
all my
is
friends were
funny.
musician friends, and all I had to do was I could steal table wine from the comedy clubs and bring it in. That was my entry into
They
Berkeley.
must have loved you.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
How popular guy back then.
Yeah,
Right,
right.
we're gonna watch the Eggnog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. So, Alexandra, where have you been performing locally for the holidays, and do you have anything coming up?
Yeah, so I've been performing with my big band recently. I sing with a compact big band. I have a show coming up with them this Saturday in Sturbridge from 2 to 4, so that's on their Facebook page if you want to check it out. I've kind of been taking a little time to write. I'm writing an EP. I just finished it.
Oh, really?
My debut solo EP.
Right. So your last release was The
Was the
Color
Color
Lilac
Lilac
from last summer.
Yes,
Yeah.
with Alexandra and Josh. So I co-wrote that with Josh Cominelli, the guitarist. So this one I'm doing on my own. I'm hoping to release it on the summer solstice this year.
Very cool.
So June 21st, 2020. Going to be recording it over at Bang a Song with the Goddesses
Yeah.
and Warren.
How great is he?
They're so wonderful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
and
start.
that,
Yeah.
And his wife, awesome.
I'm gonna start recording that after the holidays with them. So
Well, that's great to hear.
excited for it. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Are you ready
That's
to
exciting.
do a little song for us now?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what will you be doing?
So I'm gonna do Silent Night.
All right. And Heather, try not to sing over Alexandra. I know.
No, we're all safe with that. Yeah, particularly Silent
Alexandra
Night.
Grace, ladies and gentlemen.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, Son of God loves pure light. Radiant beams from thy holy face, with the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Thank you so much.
That was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Beautiful, so tender. Really nice.
So, Alexandra, if people want to find you online,
Yeah.
find your music, how can they do that?
Yeah, so Facebook, you can follow me at Alexandra Grace Music. On Instagram, you can follow me at Alexandra_Grace.
Yeah.
So I'll be posting more about my upcoming EP and a single before that too.
We have to have you on sometime to do your original music.
I would
Yeah.
love to, yeah.
Trails.
Paper Trails,
I like
yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'll be releasing The Astronaut before the EP, which
Oh,
is a
awesome.
single. So, yep.
Very cool. Well,
That's
thanks.
great.
And
Thank
you're going
you
to
so
join us
much.
towards the end of the show, too.
Yeah, we're gonna do
please.
one more
Thank
song
you.
that Safathi requested for me probably 2 years ago at the tree lighting. So it's a little late, but
She gets her way,
we'll
one
get
way or
it.
another.
Yeah, she'll get away one way or the
Yeah.
other. So
That's
all right,
awesome. Well,
thank you
thanks so
guys.
much,
Thanks.
Alexandra
Thank
Grace.
you.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, just beautiful.
That was nice.
That was so nice.
We're killing it today,
I feel
Heather.
so in the spirit.
You teared up. This is every show now. You tear up at some point.
You know, I didn't think you'd notice, but it's true. When you told me she was going to sing Silent Night, when she said that,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I'm dead.
If I took Bean out from over my
Oh,
shoulder,
don't
and
even
handed to you,
start.
would you- would you fall?
Just imagining her being at home, curled up with my dog,
Yeah.
makes me a little weepy.
Oh, that was really cool. And by the way, since we're on Alexandra, The Color Lilac, COLOUR. You can find that on iTunes right now. It's a beautiful album she did with Josh Cominelli last year. Really
And she
cool.
has a performance this weekend at Sturbridge
Yeah.
Village. So That would be a nice thing to hear.
Yes.
Nice place to go.
All right, you ready to move on?
I am. So who do we have next? Alyssa.
Come on in, Alyssa
Sit
Pittman.
down, Alyssa. Hi.
Hi.
Have you met
Nice
Corey
to meet you,
Kookaroo,
Alyssa.
Alyssa Pittman?
Alyssa, nice
Cheers.
to meet you.
Yeah. So I know Alyssa because I live in Rockport, and Alyssa is a maker and an artist.
Yes.
And she and her partners have a shop in Rockport. So I'll let you take it from here, Alyssa.
Are you comfortable holding this, Alyssa? Just
Oh
for.
yeah, I can hold it.
Thank you.
Actually, first of all, I'd love you to describe Weekends at Whistlestop.
So Weekends at Whistlestop is a collection of shops and a coffee shop right behind the train station in Rockport. So it's like that little strip mall, kinda right near Walgreens.
Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
right
It's
over there,
cuter
too.
than a strip mall.
Yeah, that is
There's no
true.
other way to say it, but it's very cute.
Yeah, every shop has like a different color. It's like really quaint looking.
Yeah.
But for a long time, I think it was more offices. I think it used to be like 20 years ago more retail. So we're kind of trying to bring back the retail vibe there. It started with our friend Jocelyn, who has Mayflower Confections, and then she opened Bloom, which is a coffee shop. And then she kind of convinced us, Close Quarters, and our other friend Stephanie, who runs Kaja, to come there as well.
Oh, Cornell? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So now we're all there, and we're calling it Weekends at Whistlestop because we're open Friday through Sunday. So it's just the weekends, and yeah.
So it's a great place to pull in, have a really good cup of coffee, a little treat from Jocelyn.
Lots of parking.
And there's
Plenty
tons
of
of parking. Exactly.
Which in Rockport is a huge commodity.
Right.
Anywhere, but especially in
And
Rockport.
stroll through these interesting shops.
Yeah.
So now you can tell us about Close Quarters because
So Close Quarters is what I'm involved in at Weekends at Whistlestop, and we are a collective. So there's 4 of us that run it together, and it was initially just us wanting to sell our goods that we make in a storefront, and now it's kind of evolved where we also sell other local makers as well. So anything from like soap that's made in Cambridge from local sheep to cutting boards, and we have some garments now, and yeah.
So, and you studied art in California, but you make these beautiful spoons, hand-carved wooden spoons, right? Which I love. And your partner Winston has Spire. Well, you both together you have Spire Woodworking. So there's some of Winston's creations there, including the swings.
Yeah.
I love the swings.
Well, actually, I made the swing.
Oh, you made the swings?
I made the
You've
swing.
been talking about those too.
I love
Yeah.
the swing.
They're really fun.
Yeah, and they are for sale. Just a tree
They're for
swing,
sale,
a
yeah.
really beautiful tree swing.
You could put it in your house,
Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah.
And then one of your partners is a potter and one is a jeweler, and she creates jewelry with local wood. So rhododendron, blueberry.
kidding.
Yeah. So she does she work as a landscape artist, a landscaper also?
She does gardening and do landscape.
Yeah. So she has access to when they trim
Right.
trimming
She's
the
always
rhododendron.
kind of like bringing random things to. She actually does a lot of the cutting in our wood shop, so she'll always bring like tree trunks or like lilac bushes.
Yeah, so very interesting, very contemporary looking jewelry out of that.
Awesome.
So it's just one of the few places I think on Cape Ann where you have local people, you have access to local people who are making really interesting local crafts. So it's a nice stop. Yeah.
And it's an easy experience, like you said. Plenty of parking. It's one shop after the next, one maker after the next.
There are a couple of benches to, if the weather's nice, to
Exactly.
sit down and chat with people.
You
Which
can start with a hot chocolate or coffee at Jocelyn's at Bloom.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
make your way down.
Yeah. So again, what are the days and hours again?
So we're all open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 10 to 5 for the retail stuff. Jocelyn's, I think, just open till 2, 8 to 2 at the coffee shop.
Okay.
So she's open a little earlier than we are, and then just closes a little bit earlier. But we are having a solstice celebration this Saturday, which will be open actually extended hours.
So tell us a little bit more about that. So are you, because you've had some events in the past.
Yeah.
This weekend at Whistlestop, and that's kind of nice.
Yeah, so we always do a solstice. We do a summer solstice event, and then we do a winter solstice event. And it's just really fun to recognize the change in light, switching to light coming back into our lives as this time it's so this morning I was wondering
magical.
when the sun was coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was so dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, we put lights out, and then we this weekend our festivities for the solstice are 4 to 8, and we'll be having a friend of ours from Iron Ox Farm making pizza, and she'll be selling her pizza.
Best
and
pizza
then,
that she serves it, or she sells it at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Stacey Apple's
Stacey
pizza.
Apple. Mhm.
Yeah, it's so delicious.
Really good.
And then we'll be having music and just, beverages, hot cider, mulled wine. And then I think Morgan Dyer, who's a local painter, is doing kind of like an installation at Kaja at Stephanie's shop.
Great.
And that will be all
great.
day.
Doesn't that sound nice?
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, I think just
Yeah.
a simple little small town event, but
Yeah.
cozy and very hygge. Is that what we say? H-Y-G-G-E?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. So you can go see Alyssa and everyone else down at Whistlestop Mall.
Do a little shopping, local
Yeah.
shopping, have a little solstice celebration. It's great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us and tell us a
Thank
little
you.
bit about
Yeah.
Yeah.
the adventure.
Thank you, Alyssa. And I think you brought Oscar with you too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Crying in the background.
I wasn't quite sure, but thanks to Oscar for coming too. Yeah.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Thank you so much. It's great
I'll see
meeting
you this weekend.
Yeah.
Bye.
Perfect. Well, Alyssa Pittman. That was great. From
yeah.
Close Quarters Collective. That's down at the Whistlestop Mall in Rockport.
Yes. And now we have more Rockport, I believe.
I think Ruth George is about to join us.
Yes. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, nice to
I'm
see
excited to
you.
learn about this. How are you, Ruth?
Good, how are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So Ruth is one of our selectmen. So we're very proud of her
Yes.
there. But you are also on the Rockport Christmas Tree Committee.
Yes.
So can you tell us what that is?
Are you okay with holding this,
Oh,
Ruth?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Rockport Christmas Tree Committee is started 121 years ago this year. One of the oldest thing in Rockport.
Yeah.
Continuously going. It was started by Tim Sheehan, who was a local grocer down in Dock Square, where the Blue Lobster is. And Christmas morning, he would go and pass out candy to the children every Christmas morning in Rockport. So it has evolved. Now we're a 501c3 organization with 21 or 25 directors, townspeople, and it runs as a volunteer group of people, and we deliver baskets, and we make bags for Santa to deliver Christmas morning to the children
Yeah.
when they want to come down and thank him for their gifts.
And the baskets go to whom?
The baskets go to elderly. Anyone 80 and older gets a basket automatically. And then we go through the street listings.
You're getting there.
We're getting there. We go through the street listing, the group of us, starting in November, and we list out everyone who is eligible age-wise. And then we do anyone who's had a bereavement in their family, illness, been in the hospital. We deliver baskets to Addison Gilbert, Seacoast Nursing Home, Golden Living, any of the local nursing homes. And we just keep our ear to the ground to find anyone who might need some Christmas cheer. So we delivered 700 baskets.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That
And
is a
then-
huge operation.
And then we do 300 bags that the elves fill, and those go down Christmas morning, and Santa hands those out to the children who want to come thank him for their Christmas gifts.
Yeah, and this whole volunteer effort takes place, is it in Spearman Hall when you're preparing
Spiron Hall.
Spiron
yep,
Hall, sorry.
Yep. It starts, the first thing we're going to be doing is on the 23rd, Monday, at 3 o'clock, the elves will go down to Denmark, and they will deliver a little gift with Santa to every single resident there, and have a nice visit with each resident. And then that night we'll be packing at Spiron Hall. Everyone is welcome. It's a wonderful thing to do.
So you need volunteers
We
to
need
help you do that.
volunteers for that.
Okay. Monday night.
Monday night, 7 o'clock, Spiron Hall. It usually doesn't take more than an hour and a half, 2 hours, because we get such a great turnout. We have Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, grandparents, parents, young families, everyone comes. It's just wonderful. So we pack the bags there, get them all ready, and then the next thing is going to deliver them at Pigeon Cove Ledges. There are 30 residents there that get them automatically. Rockport High School Apartments get them. And Millbrook Park, there are 80 residents there that the Rockport Police Association, all the policemen go and deliver those on Tuesday morning.
It's a town-wide effort.
It really is, and it's just all volunteers. It's a 100% volunteer organization. We do a fund drive this time of year, but all year long we accept donations.
Because Santa can't do everything himself,
He
right?
can't. And it's a great group of people.
Yeah.
And then Christmas morning, we have our baskets to be delivered to people. So we have a couple who go down to Byron Hall, and we have index cards with street addresses and who gets a basket on those addresses. And we look for volunteers to deliver those Christmas morning. We open up at 8:30 in the morning, and we like people to take maybe 1 or 2 streets and just deliver to maybe someone who isn't going to be seeing anyone else on Christmas.
What a nice thing to do.
It is. It's a nice thing to
It's
do.
It's an amazing story.
It is an amazing story.
It's wonderful for families to go and do it with their children to show that that's the spirit of Christmas in giving to others before you open your presents and things like that, and with your family. So it's a wonderful Christmas tradition.
And then there is finally
And
Dock
then
Square.
finally at Dock Square, Santa comes down in an old fire engine at 10:30, and the line starts with all the kids in town coming out, and kids who are here visiting with their grandparents. Everyone comes down, and we do 300 of those baskets.
That's just
bags.
amazing. Yeah. So, are you looking for people to contribute during the year? Because that's a lot of baskets, right?
It's a lot of baskets. We try to collect donations. Sometimes we have people leaving it as a something that can be contributed to if they pass away. Money can go towards the Christmas tree committee.
Oh, that's nice.
But we try to do a fundraiser right about this time of year. To the general public, we send out 500 request cards in the town and look for that. But the baskets are, it's a tin of cookies for the elderly, a nice tin of butter cookies, and then it's a basket with 2 kinds of apples, oranges, pears, chocolates, and in the kids' bag they get gumdrops, a bag of gumdrops, taffy, some cookies, and the fruit. So it's a wonderful, wonderful
really nice.
family thing to do in town, and I'm really proud to be part of
Now,
it.
you grew up in Rockport, right?
I grew up in Rockport. I used to go down Christmas morning and get my bag from Santa. Back then they were cloth bags. Some people still have the cloth bags. Now they're plastic, but it's been going on ever since, and I got them 60 plus years ago.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, whenever
That's
Rockport
great.
does something, they do it so well.
It's wonderful.
And they've been doing it for 121 years.
Yeah,
I
apparently.
think we've got it right.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
we do.
Yeah.
And people just come in for a few minutes, and we set it up so it's an assembly line. You grab a bag, you put your bag of cookies, the tin of cookies in it, and you just walk around, and people will put your fruit in. You get to the end, put a bow on it, you start around again. We have 2 lines that do it. It goes very quickly.
Yeah.
But many hands make light work, and it's wonderful, wonderful thing to do at the holiday season.
Yeah. So
That's
we
great.
want to say again. So this Monday evening at Byron Hall.
At 7 p.m.
There you go.
And you have a Facebook page
Yes,
if
we
people
do.
need to contact you,
Yep,
right?
they
For
can.
a little more
And
details.
it will be in the paper. We just did a letter to the editor reminding people about
Oh,
it.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the Rockport Christmas Tree Committee, I believe, is a
Yes,
Facebook
yes,
page.
it is. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Ruth George, thank you so much
Oh, wonderful.
for
Thank
shedding
you.
some light on this
Oh,
amazing
thank you.
community effort. I think it's one of the coolest stories around
I
here.
do too. I
It's
do
a
too.
wonderful, wonderful Christmas tradition.
Well,
in
happy
Rockport.
holidays to you
Happy
and your family.
holidays to
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Take
Thanks so
care.
much for
Thanks.
joining us.
Okay.
I'll take this for you.
Thank you.
We'll see you in Rockport.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. Okay, Heather.
All right. What a nice show, right? This just makes you feel good about humanity,
Yeah.
right?
It felt better than having my hand over that flame for 30 seconds. All
That's some more eggnog.
right, so you
All
ready
right.
to do some more laughing here?
Yes, I think we
Yeah.
have another warm
Another
and
special
wonderful
guest.
guest.
Yeah.
Hi.
This is Phoebe
Phoebe.
Potts. How are you, Phoebe? It's
Hi,
great to see you
Phoebe.
again.
It's great to see you.
You getting hot?
I am very warm. Yeah,
This is
yeah, but
toasty.
I think, but it's great being here.
Phoebe,
Yeah.
do you want the mic close to you, or do you can
No, I'm good.
enunciate? Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, awesome.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, I can hear you
I'm
perfectly
getting a
fine.
thumbs up. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So you had your son's holiday class party or something earlier?
It was the Plum Cove Elementary School concert.
Oh, okay, good. And was it good? Did they sing well?
They were fine. They were totally appropriate.
Good.
I don't know why. I mean, they sing dreidel and Hanukkah, because Kwanzaa and Jingle Bell Rock. But I was just thinking, does anybody know what Kwanzaa means? Like, does
Yeah.
it? I looked it up while I was sitting. It means first because it has to do with the harvest. But then the dreidel song they sing, the Hanukkah song they sing is the dreidel song, which has
nothing about Hanukkah in it.
Right. Yeah.
So,
We're learning. We're all learning.
Exactly.
We're trying.
but see, that's just it. I wonder if we are learning.
Well, maybe not.
If we, I mean, when I was a kid, I made it out of clay. It was sort of like, why would you do that? Like, you can buy it at the 5 and dime out of plastic. Like, no one's making it out of clay.
Yeah, right. So not only are we not updating the message, we don't understand the message to begin with, maybe. Yeah, right.
Yeah, why
right.
is it? Why those?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Anyway,
Well, let's return to that later on. Okay. But let's talk about what you've been doing recently.
Okay.
You just had a busy month, right?
yes.
Tell us all about it.
Okay, so I premiered my one-woman show.
Look at you.
Which I wrote. And I wrote and I starred in. It's called Too Fat for China.
And it was sold out 2 weekends, right?
Sold out for 2 weekends, yes.
So-
at the wonderful Gloucester stage where they really took a chance on me. As soon as their season ended, they gave me the following 2 weekends.
That's great.
And they gave me tons of support, and I can't say enough good things about the folks at the Gloucester stage.
Yeah.
Particularly Chris Griffiths, who is, I know almost nothing about theater, and it's the first time I've done this, and he walked me through the whole thing, and they lent me a baby director and a baby sound person. Like
I see a little baby.
yeah. These little interns, and they are actually short in stature, but they're only like 21 years old, and they helped me through the whole thing. And so so it is an hour and 15-minute set about the agonies of trying to adopt. A comic look at the agonies of trying to. Sorry, that sounded awful.
No,
why would you want to go see that?
Well, I want to pick up on that. Let's back up and say that you've already written a graphic memoir.
Right.
About.
So that sounds like a history of my sex life. When
Yeah,
you say
right,
graphic
exactly.
When is that
You say it
playing?
better.
Right. I drew and wrote a book. So
Yeah.
I did a comic book about myself called
Yeah.
Good Eggs, which was about infertility.
So, the book is wonderful. I cannot recommend. Everyone should run out and buy it. And my children, who have not, when they were teenagers, they read it. They loved it. They thought it was so funny.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and it's a story of your infertility struggles, right?
Yeah.
And now you have a one-person show, incredibly successful, talking about adoption. So I would like to dwell really quickly on comedy, and these are tough stories you're telling.
Right.
But you're using humor to do it.
Right.
And have you always done that? Has that been part of who you were? And I frankly believe if you can laugh about something, it's bearable.
Yes.
So I'll let you pick up on all that.
Okay. So, well, there's a couple things. One is I was part of all these really awful things. I did awful things. I start the story by saying I want to tell you the story of the terrible things I did for love. And I need people to witness them with me because I need to get a handle on what happened. But in order to make you sit through that, I want to also make it funny so that it's worth your time. So that's sort of my payment to you is that it should also be...
I might as well make you laugh.
Right. But it's also, Nora Ephron of blessed memory, the writer, said the difference between slipping on a banana peel and having everybody laugh at you versus telling everybody about the time you slipped on the banana peel is it's control. It's like ownership over what happened. So I tell these, I mean, the world of adoption is a wild and woolly, unregulated world. And so there's lots of room for corruption and unethical behavior. And it's just rife with racism. But I participated in all that, and I wanted to understand what happened. But the absurdity of it was comic gold.
Yes.
Also, I mean, I was raised in Brooklyn where everybody was Jewish, and Jews have historically used comedy as a way to get through all the rotten stuff that's happened. So I also feel like it was, I hate to use this word, but genetic as well.
So you've always felt like you were a funny person.
I always felt that I had to be funny if I wanted to get anybody's attention.
Oh, that's
particularly my
interesting.
parents.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the attention I really craved.
Yeah.
So what would help put a bow on this for people who don't know is the title Too Fat for China and how that came about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's it's a humdinger of a title.
It's a great
right?
title.
It's also true.
Yeah.
So that's the title of your one-person show.
Yes.
I think we're jumping all over
Yes,
the place.
yes.
So,
Thank you.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the title of the one-person show. So, I really wanted to get a baby, and I wasn't able to make one myself, so we looked into adoption. And I always knew that I wanted to adopt from Ethiopia for reasons that I go into in the show. But when I just started looking through all the brochures, China, which was a big exporter of tiny little babies for adoption, had requirements. And one of the requirements was that the adoptive parent couldn't have a body mass index higher than a 29. So this is so not American.
Just incredible.
Yeah,
It's
Right,
just
we are all like,
amazing.
you can't do that, which is actually really hypocritical of us because we make people of size feel bad all the time in this culture.
Right, right.
Like, I mean, you can see us quietly harvesting at the back of the rack in Old Navy, like women of a certain size, but mostly we're invisible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless somebody's shaming us for being fat, like the president. But we don't ever say you're fat or
Right.
you're so fat you can't do this. No,
Right.
we widen the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
We widen the pants.
We put
that
a
we
third
sell.
patty on that hamburger.
Exactly. No, we have
Exactly.
no.
We supersize it.
Yeah.
We have no
Yeah.
problem enabling this or adding to it, but we would never say to somebody you're fat. That's just not in our culture. Well, for some reason, the Central Communist Party in
Yeah.
Beijing said the people who adopt can't have a body mass index over 29.
Were there any other rules that China imposes?
Yes.
Really?
They also said the adoptive parent couldn't be taking or have taken antidepressants, which, I mean,
Another shaming
not only
thing.
am I Jewish, but if of course I take Zoloft. I mean, Zoloft and I have been very close friends
Yeah.
for like almost 20 years.
Of course.
And like weight gain's one thing, but like I'm not gonna break up with Zoloft.
Right.
You can't take that
exactly.
away. Don't take that from
How
me.
Yeah.
do they imagine you're supposed to parent and
Well,
not be on antidepressants?
Exactly.
And then you say, well, Phoebe, well, it's different, cultural differences. Yeah, but they're the ones who make the Zoloft. They make all the antidepressants. Like,
Isn't this show great?
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So it's absurd.
Yeah.
And it's also sort of like, really? They said that out loud? Like, they put it in black and white?
I've got my next show.
Oh my God. Like, I remember just standing there in my kitchen in my bathrobe being like, geez, I guess somebody had to say it. I just never thought it'd be 1.5 billion Chinese.
So Phoebe, what happens next with Too Fat for China and your work?
Well, I wanna take it on the road.
That'd
And
be great.
I don't know how to do it, so I'm learning how to do that. I'm asking everybody I know who knows anything about putting on a show somewhere else. I want to sell it to the streaming services. I want
Excellent
to be
idea.
on Ellen.
Yeah.
I want to be Do Howard.
Does Ellen know? How do we get to her?
I just feel like if I keep saying it out loud,
Yeah,
it's
right.
gonna.
Let's start here at 1623 and work
exactly.
your way out. I like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Phoebe, thanks so much for sharing the story with us.
Sure.
People want to learn more about you. How can they do that? You have to have some presence online. Or...
I have toofatforchina.com
Yeah.
where there's links to some of the stories I told with Fishtails.
Yes.
And I will post when I'm going to do the next gig.
Very cool.
But I also recommend your book, Good Eggs, because that will never stop being just an incredibly pithy tale of,
Nice.
of fertility, right?
I love that she said run out and get it. So I wish you could run out and get it.
You can't run out and get
No,
it?
you
Oh.
can't. You have to run to your phone and go to Amazon,
Yeah, you can
unfortunately.
do that.
Yeah, right.
Because that's where it is. And also, you can get it at your local library.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
There you
Yeah.
go.
All right. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
coming by.
Susie.
Sure.
Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
Great to see
It's
you.
good seeing you again.
Say hi to
You too.
Jeff and Lemmy for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoebe Potts.
Phoebe Potts,
You sit here in
right?
Too Fat for China.
The show was so good. I
Yeah.
mean, there was not one second that was a pause in the just compelling, funny. It was just great. Yes, and we have two new guests.
Hey, people just
Hi,
happen to hop in on the set.
Yeah,
That's Chris
yeah.
Steppler
Hi, Chris.
and Susanna Winder
Yes.
from the Essex
Yes.
Shipbuilding Museum. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for waiting, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Our shows tend to run, it turns into a day-long event, actually.
we ramble.
We
Yeah.
do this.
But there's so many good stories to tell, right?
Yeah, right.
And you guys have a good story to tell. Tell us about the Essex Shipbuilding Museum to start. Just like what you're doing there and where you came from.
So we're telling the story of this incredible little town that for 400 years had the best reputation on the East Coast and for across the country and even globally for building really good ships, selling them at a fair price, and
Particularly
trying to-
schooners, right? Weren't they
Particularly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
we
Chris,
had-
I'm just going to hand you this.
Thank you.
So, yep.
Yeah, we specialized in schooners because we're right next to Gloucester, so we have one of the largest and then the largest fishing port in the nation right next door. And so the designs that we were building came straight over here. They were tested, refined, and then as they were sold out of the local fleet, the local captains would upgrade. They would go up to Nova Scotia and influence design there. They would go down to Florida. They would go to
interesting.
Texas.
Yeah.
We had some that even rounded Cape Horn and went to the West Coast and
wow.
started the West Coast halibut fishery.
Wow.
And we have programs set up for the holiday season.
We do.
Yeah, can we explain this to me? Because I was lost when Heather brought it up to me.
Well,
I
you
didn't
have a
know anything
solstice
about it.
celebration,
Yeah.
right?
We do. We have
Yeah.
a solstice celebration, and that's coming up on Saturday, actually. And Susanna can tell you more about that.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's going to be on Saturday from 11 to 4, and we just wanted to try something new. So we're celebrating the solstice with activities that can bring you through the winter. So things like starting a project, and then you can take it home with you at the end of the day. So we're going to have ditty bag making, so traditional sailor's bags. So you're learning how to stitch, and you get a needle and all of the supplies. And we have a wonderful volunteer named Davis who's going to be doing basswood carving and making like those traditional stars you see on people's
cool.
houses.
Oh, that's very cool.
And we'll have a whole kids activity section as well. So
And log splitting? Did I
yeah,
see log splitting?
hopefully we'll have that outside. So we'll have a mix of indoor and outdoor and hot drinks and everything that makes it warm and fuzzy.
That's
in
really nice.
this time of year. Yeah.
So is there any connection to recognizing the solstice and mariners? Was there anything important to mariners about that? I mean,
Not that I know of too much. It's just something that, it marking the time transition, certainly, so you have more light on the water probably to
Right.
know anything.
No, I mean, you need to know when your shortest day is so you can keep your chronometer up to date.
Sure.
It
Right.
affects how long you can be out on the water. And for the shipbuilders in Essex, that's a very key turning point. That's when you start to have to really bundle up for the winter work and start preparing to go through. We're closed for tours during the winter, but back when the shipyards were in operation, there was no stopping for any weather.
Wow.
On a day like today, you would go down to the shipyard, you would clear off your spot, and then start working and clear as you go. And it didn't much matter
Yeah.
because you were paid just for the work you did, and you had to get on with it.
Yeah, to make do.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So the museum actually is closed now seasonally, right? But this event was created to, of course, shine some light on the museum in some way as well. And community celebration, is that sort of the angle here? Is it all ages, all welcome? Do you want to give us sort of the A to Z details on that again, the hours and dates, and if people want to learn more about the event?
Sure, yeah. So it's going to be on Saturday from 11 to 4, and everybody's welcome. We've been noticing there's a lot more families with young kids in Essex right now. So we're trying to make it open to absolutely anybody. So in that 6 hours, you can drop in at any time, pay for the activities you'd like to participate in, and enjoy the watching log splitting happening
Yeah.
and things like that.
And the ditty bag making. I'm
Yeah.
totally into that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Our gift shop will be open as well. So
was
if
gonna
those
say.
last minute hostess gifts or that relative you didn't know was coming into town,
Yeah.
We'll have all that open.
And so it's
great.
indoor and outdoor
And outdoor,
activities.
absolutely.
So-
I mean, that's the museum as a whole in general. We do a lot of outside even in the winter, and so just trying to keep it open, keep people coming through the yard in the winter, because we'll have our talk series going all through the winter.
Right.
So making sure people know we're still there, even if we're not open for tours consistently.
Perfect. And if
Great.
people want to learn more about the museum, how can they go about doing that?
It's all on our website at essexshipbuilding.org, and Chris and I update it all the time.
Great.
Very
Great.
cool. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Susanna,
and
Linda,
maybe
Chris
we'll see you
Dupler.
on. Excuse me for talking over you.
No, that's fine.
But maybe we'll see you on Saturday. Yeah, I may, because I really like the idea.
And I
of the ditty
think
bag.
maybe in better climate, we are actually at the Shipbuilding Museum doing one of these shows.
Yeah, what do you
We'd
think?
love to have you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
it'd be really
phenomenal.
fun. Really fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Have a great Saturday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
happy
Yeah.
solstice.
Yeah, check out the
Yeah.
website
Thank
to
you,
learn
you too.
more about that awesome event. So very cool. Thanks for spending some time with us. And we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, Chris Deppler and Susanna Winder of the Essex Shipbuilding Museum.
Yes.
You get to check out that Solstice event that they have going on this
I
Saturday.
love the Essex Shipbuilding
That's
Museum,
awesome
by the
over
way.
there.
I have to, yeah.
I
so
actually do spend a lot of time over there.
I have also, and I think we do need to do a show there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so beautiful.
That'd be great. Yeah, we need to spend more time in Essex. I really do like it over there.
I do too.
All right, another special guest, Heather. As
Oh,
now
who's
we're here,
next?
rolls on. This is actually Ray Johnson. He is the manager. He's your head honcho here at the Beauport Hotel.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about that.
How are you?
Great,
Hi,
thank
Ray.
you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for finally giving us
happy
the opportunity
holidays,
to spend
Ray.
some time with you here.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so nice. The fire has
Doesn't feel
just
good.
been so wonderful. That
Yeah.
looking at it, all the Christmas decorations, and all these great guests. We've had some really
Yeah,
interesting
it's
really
guests.
quite the lineup, I'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. So for those who are sort of watching from afar,
Yes.
and this is sort of their first peek inside the
Okay.
Beauport Hotel, just
Yeah.
want to kind of give us the A to Z on what you have to offer.
Yeah, sure. We're at Beauport Hotel Gloucester in Gloucester, Massachusetts at Cape Ann. We are the largest full-service hotel in the area. We have 94 guest rooms and suites. We have a very popular rooftop pool and bar.
Beautiful.
We have a community-focused restaurant, 1606 restaurant and bar, with 10,000 square feet of a meeting and event space. So a lot of weddings and a lot of meetings now as well.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
great.
Yeah. So that's just the hotel.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. So.
And you're situated right on gorgeous Pavilion Beach. You're literally overlooking the famous Greasy Pole.
We are,
Yeah.
yes, the old greasy pool.
Yeah. You are actually part of Fiesta, an integral part of Fiesta
We
now,
are
right?
in the epicenter of it all now.
For real?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's been great the last few years. You know, the first year we didn't really know what to expect and how to handle it, but over the past couple of years we've just embraced it, and we set up a Fiesta deck. Which is it's for to view the
I've been
greasy
part of it.
pole.
Look at you, like you know about
people
that.
just want to come in and get that vantage point, that vantage view, and sure, come on in. You know, as long as we're not over occupancy, and we let them out there. We have a bar out there. We offer some food, and people get to watch the greasy pole from. We call it the skybox view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So do you just muscle your way in, or do you get a reservation to the skybox view? The
Oh no,
Fiesta?
no, that's just more open to the public.
Okay.
You just really walk in as
You have to know Corey.
You do.
Yeah.
You can do.
Yeah.
You rub the
The
alpaca
llama.
the right way. the llama.
Fa-la-la-la-ma.
Yeah, but you'll also have events like for viewing for the fireworks, et cetera, as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you know, the last couple of years we had what we call the Red, White, and Beauport party for
Yes.
the holiday, for the 3rd of July fireworks, which is a great party. And it's a red, white, so it's a white party and Beauport party. And you know, we have DJ and dancing, great food, and you get to watch the fireworks right here,
that's
right above your
great.
head. I mean, what a spectacular party. Unfortunately, we may have to do it differently this year because we actually have a wedding that night. It
Oh,
falls on
really?
the weekend.
Lucky.
So it had booked. So we're trying to find something else as an
Just put a
alternative.
tent down there on that beach.
Right?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
At low tide.
Exactly.
We've got good news from the 1606 restaurant as well.
Yeah.
I
I
think
can't
I'm
believe.
seeing
Yeah,
something.
you want to bring this on now so we can
Yeah.
show this off? This is great, right?
Yeah.
You need me to move this, Heather? Or you're good? I have a little table here.
Well, there's a table there. Look at
By the way, this
that.
is Kevin Mangella. He's our director of restaurant operations.
Kevin,
here at
nice to
Beauport
meet you.
Hotel.
Kevin.
Oh,
Really
and Gene
nice to
Hennessy
meet
is
you.
back joining us again. Hi,
Oh
Gene.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
we
I like your
switched it up a
thinking,
little
Gene.
bit.
Yeah.
Get you some fork.
I think it's lunchtime.
Oh my God.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, so you know, we thought we'd show you a couple of items we could do from our restaurant here. Again, the restaurant's community focused. We have a beautiful deck here, dining room, bar. The people love the bar here, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, when we set out to build the hotel, when you know Sherry built the hotel, and I came on board with her, we talked a lot about how this really needs to be, you know, a very welcoming restaurant for not only our hotel guests, but maybe even more so for the locals in the community surrounding us. So.
It's amazing you say that because I was talking to Gina about it earlier, how holiday season, this has become sort of the first meeting spot when
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
comes back home, which is
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But I mean, I'm a townie.
Sure.
And I'm here often.
I've seen you once or twice, or 10.
Yeah, but there's always that great mix of, well, here come the wedding parties coming through, here comes the business
Yeah.
party coming through, and then here are the townies kind of watching the Bruins game or hanging out and
Yeah.
shooting the breeze. And
Yeah.
it's always just had a really cool feel and vibe to the place.
Yeah, I mean, on the weekends, it's just so much action going on here. It's not like that quiet hotel lobby on the weekends. It's, you know, it almost feels like a New York City lobby with
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
much
buzzes.
going on. It's buzzing.
Wow.
Exactly. You know, people just visiting, and you know, people can really just come in and enjoy the lobby. We service the lobby for drink service and food service. You can sit out there and have a full steak and a glass of wine if you like. So, and would love for you to do that. So
It's really great to have that kind of style, I
Yeah.
should say, in the city again.
yeah.
So is there anything that you want people out there to know about the hotel before we move on? I mean, I know we can obviously find more information about you online, but this is a premier wedding venue. This is, invite your convention or businesses here.
Yeah. So all of those things. So it is a premier wedding venue for sure. I mean, that's our wheelhouse. Beauport Hospitality Group we are now, but started off with Sherry and Cruiseport, and weddings is our thing. We came in here without missing a beat as far as weddings go. We're a great wedding venue, along with our Cruiseport, Gloucester, and Beauport cruise lines. The meeting is for meetings and conferences and groups. I mean, that's exceeded my expectations, what we've been able to do here. We've got a great sales team, and we've got more groups, and from 15 to 60 people, and it helps us in the off season to try to keep these rooms filled, which has been great. Our occupancy's been great because of that. But not only that, the hotel is such a great staycation.
I was going to say,
destination.
yeah, right.
I mean, if you look at our arrivals list any day, there are more people coming from just, from the surrounding community, Boston North or, North Shore. Just a little getaway. And I think you mentioned it to Jeannie, you feel like you're somewhere else. And that's almost should be our tagline. You feel like you're somewhere else.
So cool, yeah, because you'll even see, like I live on Facebook, and you'll just see friends of mine, locals, they're like, well, no, we wanted to, to treat ourselves, so we're just going to do a night at the Beauport or something like that.
But conversely, we still get people from all over, from New York and California and Florida and Texas, that come just to visit the hotel. Not here for a reason like a wedding or a conference, but are starting to gain traction with those repeat guests.
Are you finding that they are surprised by the Gloucester culture and the Cape Ann culture, because it's kind of unique?
It's very unique.
Yeah.
But I think. Yeah.
What are you hearing from guests?
So what I hear, at first is, geez, we know here, we live here, and we're used to it all. And what we found was people that come here really appreciate, and they really love that genuineness and that local kind of vibe and feel. They love to hear the accent that they put from the front desk attendant at the front desk, or the guys downstairs.
Yeah.
Where it's not like we were trying to teach them to be all polished and everything. At first we thought we might have to, but people love that. We want to be authentic. We want to be genuine, and people really enjoy that and appreciate that.
Yeah. I love it here.
Yeah.
You know that.
Well, I do too.
Yeah.
Good.
So what do we have here?
So the chefs put together a couple of our items. We were going to do something different, but it said, let's put out, this is off of our new menu.
Yeah.
And our guys were thinking comfort food when they came up with this, but this is a classic jambalaya.
Yeah.
So we got seared sea scallops in there, bay shrimp. We have chicken and andouille sausage in there. So and it's a real warming, comfortable, especially on a day like today. A little bit of a spice to it, but not gonna bite you too bad.
Yeah.
And then we have this is our iconic.
This is
It's becoming
spectacular.
iconic anyway. Our shellfish tower with king crab, lobster tail, oysters. The oysters today are from Irish Point, Prince Edward Island. So we bring them in, whatever's out there, whatever's fresh, whatever we can get. We do a lot of Duxbury. My favorite is Duxbury, Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Very briny.
Yeah.
So with the accoutrements,
beautiful.
the cocktail sauce,
little
and
lobster
horseradish
tail.
mignonette. It's a lot of fun.
So this has become sort of a signature order for people, the seafood tower. Is this a year round?
Oh, this will be year round. This is year round. Yeah. So people who come in and they want to really treat themselves, this is what you'll see as the centerpiece of the table when they get going. So,
Now, not a bad idea. Is gift cards too?
Oh yeah.
The hotel, the
Of course.
restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. The gift cards we are for obviously we're selling at all our properties, but our gift cards are good at any of our properties. So Railstop, Boston, they're good at Seaport Grill, Cruiseport, Beauport Cruise Lines, and right now we're giving $10 off every $50. You get a bounce back bonus card you can come back and use for anything here.
Very
Great.
cool.
They're also available online, so they can be accessed or bought online through any of our websites.
Okay.
So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if people have not visited this hotel, local people, they really need to just stop in at the lobby at the very least and see how beautiful it is, sit by the fire, have a cup of tea here, even if you're not a drinker, but you can certainly have a great cocktail or a glass of wine.
For sure.
It's a nice stop.
Oh, they've done an amazing job here. Like I said, it's home away from home.
Yeah.
When you walk in here, it's the coolest thing is you're here, you feel like you're somewhere else, you walk outside, oh, no, there's the car right over there. I'll be home in 2 minutes.
I know, isn't that nice?
Yeah. And there's just a cool, just the clientele here. It's just so varied all the time. And you have that local homespun feel, but it's still, you can have very progressive cosmopolitan conversations with anyone.
Absolutely. You could be sitting next to somebody from down the street, or on the other side, there'll be somebody from Iceland next to you.
Yeah.
Because they're in for a conference or a meeting, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
Ray, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you having us here today.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, it means so much, and we would
I
love
just
to
feel
be
bad
back.
It's taken this long.
I know. Well, that's okay. That's okay.
Well, we waited for just the right moment.
Well, Corey made the snow happen, and we got the fire. It all came together.
It's gorgeous.
Awesome.
So thanks again, Ray Johnston from the Beauport Hotel. Happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you so much. You guys
Thanks
do a
for
great
having
job.
us too. Yeah, we're gonna ride this.
Eat
out
some of this.
We will for
We
sure.
will,
All
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Take
Ray.
care.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Oh, that looks so beautiful.
I hope we got some good shots of that seafood tower because that is out of control.
I know. It's those Alaskan king crab legs twisting.
Oh, hi, Lisa.
You're taking
Lisa
it away.
Smith.
Yeah.
You pounced right on that.
We need
space.
for-
Okay.
Yeah, we can have
all
her.
right.
Yeah. Alexandra needs her space.
Yes. So we have Alexandra back?
Yes.
I won't cry, I don't think.
So, all right, Alexandra, while you're setting up, I just want to once again thank everyone here at the Beauport Hotel for having us here for a special edition. Now we're here. Heather, I want to thank you and happy holidays, of course.
Corey, I thank you.
Yeah,
Let's meet at another international airport soon.
Yeah,
Okay?
I forgot to post a picture. I was going to do that last night because we took several at Reykjavik.
Yeah.
But we'll find our way out there at some point soon. As now we're here at Takes the Road. I want to thank our guests today, Ray Johnston and Jean Hennessy of the Beauport Hotel, Elisa Nagra, Pathways for Children, Amy Farber from the Temple Havarachim, Ruth George from the Rockport Christmas Tree Committee, Bob Ryan from Rhinowood Distilleries, Susanna Winder and Chris Stepler from the Essex Shipbuilding Museum, Alyssa Pittman of the Collective.
Weekends at Whistlestop is the group, and her shop is Close Quarters.
And Phoebe Potts, of course, from Too Fat for China.
Yeah, Too Fat for China.
Which is too funny. And we want to thank our crew again, Director Becky Toba, Technical Director Matt McMakin, Floor Director Lisa Smith, Production Assistant Alana Horn, and on camera David Lufkin. Thanks to you all. Happy holidays to everybody. Once again, happy holidays to you.
Same to you.
And I also want to give a shout out to Eric Archer back at 1640 Studios
hey,
and Maureen Aylward. Happy holidays.
Yes, Maureen. Hi.
Yeah. We'll catch up with you all soon. Alexandra Grace.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to you as well.
Happy holidays.
Thanks for doing this for us. If
Thanks
people
for
want to
having
learn
me.
more about Alexandra, just find her online. She's all over the
Yes.
place.
All right, so
And
we're
thanks so
gonna-
much for doing this.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, we're gonna go out with Jingle Bells. This one's for Safathia because she requested this a while back. So here you go.
There you go.
Sing along if you want. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is white, go it while you're young. Take a ride tonight, sing the sleighing song. Just get a bobtail bay, 240 for his speed. Hitch him to an open sleigh and crack, you'll take the lead. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Be merry, bright, nice and kind. You'll jingle all the way. Thank you so much. Remember to spread niceness and kindness this Christmas season. It's very important.
Cheers to you, Alexandra.
Cheers.
And happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
And happy holidays to all of you out there. We will see you in 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.